Hey everyone, Gage Ryan here to show you guys my Weather Painter list today. So Weather Painters are a deck that I've been messing around with for a while, and I mean especially since I found out about Weather Forecast. I was like, that breaks this deck's potential wide open. Like there's so much more that this deck can do now consistently just because of the fact that you have the field spell. And so I thought that it created a lot of potential for the deck, and I really like the deck. It's a lot of fun. And it does have some good matchups, it has some bad matchups like every deck does, but I feel that this is a pretty fun deck if you're looking for something rogue that can still compete, as I'll put it. And so this is version 1.0. Let's get into the list. So you got 3 Snow. Snow is amazing because if your opponent has a monster on their field and you don't, this card's a +3. So you always want to have this card. It's never bad to see this card. You want to see it at all times. You got 3 Thunder and 3 Cloud. A lot of people don't like 3 Cloud, but I play 3 just for the fact that I love how it combos with Rainbow Canvas. So what your opponent will do is they'll go Twin Twister or something like that. You chain the effect that Rainbow Canvas gives you by special summoning from the deck, and you get a Cloud to the field. So then that way the Twin Twister resolves, you lose your Rainbow Canvas and whatever else, and then Cloud triggers and you just put them right back into your spell and trap card zone. So I like Cloud a lot. And you got 3 Ash, just fusion spells and whatnot. Great card. Onto the spells, you got 3 Forecast. For those who don't know what this does, when it's activated, you put a weather spell or trap from the deck face up in your spell and trap card zone. And then you can use face up weather cards in your spell and trap card zone as material to link summon a Weather Painter link. And so then you can also normal summon by activating this effect. And so what you can do is you send the Weather Painter spell and traps to the graveyard to bring out a link monster, and you'll usually have Cloud in play, so you send all them to the graveyard, bring out your link, and then Cloud will trigger and you put the spell and traps right back into your zones. So it's a great card. And 3 Snowy Canvas. This is another one I see people play less than 3 of, and I don't get that at all. This card's more or less a 10 key. I mean, so you always want to have it. You can play it immediately. You don't have to wait and set it like you do with trap cards. It's always good. It turns any of your monsters into a Fire Formation 10 key, more or less. But you add any weather card, and so you can get to your field spell. You can just whatever you need to. It's good. It does everything. And then 3 Map. I mean, just get to snow, all that. Triple Prosperity. Good card. Double Dark Ruler, it's just good to have, you know, I mean, if your opponent puts up some big field or whatever, you're not going to be able to do your plays, just Dark Ruler it and keep going. Then you got 1 Rainy Canvas and 1 Cloudy Canvas. So the Cloudy Canvas is something that I'm testing, but I don't mind it. I mean, it's just good to get over stuff, and it's another name. That's another reason I play it. It's just another name, so that when you send, let's say, 3 of your weather canvases, and you can only bring 2 of them back with Cloud, you would rather send a Cloudy Canvas over something else you might need. And it's also good to have attacks. That really is not all that bad, trust me. And then Rainbow Canvas, you just bounce spell and trap cards, but it's good against control decks and whatnot, but it is another name. And it's another name that you can play right away as opposed to setting it. Like, you really want to limit the amount of canvases that don't provide you real value. That's why I play the 3 field spell. That's why I play the 3 Snowy Canvas. You want to play the ones that give you the most value and that you can play right away. 1 Cosmic Cyclone, just give the deck a little bit of variety. You got 1 Called by the Grave, just excellent card. Terraforming, gets your field spell, and I play Regeki. I love the main one, side one Regeki thing. You know, it's just good. Clears your first turn fields. Good to get over miscellaneous stuff you may not be able to attack over if you don't have, let's say, the Cloudy Canvas and whatnot. Different spells on the traps. You got 3 Skill Drain. Skill Drain doesn't hurt you pretty much at all in this deck because you're always banishing anyway, and it banishes for cost. So, just great card. Always love it. You know, 3 Imperm. Perm's good. Just stop first turn fields from maybe even starting in the first place. Or it's just good, like, if you break their field and then you Imperm whatever's left. And then 1 Rainbow Canvas, 1 Thunder Canvas. So these are 2 good cards, but the problem is that I would play more than 1 Rainbow Canvas, but it's a trap. That's my problem. And so you want to have this with Painter Snow. That's a good combo if your opponent has a monster, but the problem is that your opponent has to control a monster for you to be able to use Rainbow Canvas's effect. And so if you have this first turn, especially if you draw it, it doesn't help you. And so I like relying more on Snowy Canvas and Weather Forecast and whatnot with Snow to kind of get more value if I'm going first. And Thunder Canvas is just a good card that, again, you can get over things. Extra deck is really not that important. I'm just going to fan through it really quickly. You can see I hardly use my extra deck at all. Literally the only cards that I've made in the extra deck are, of course, you got Painter Rainbow and the new guy, the Moonbow. Outside of these 2 cards, I don't think I've made any other extra cards. I haven't made Zeus at all. I haven't made Access Code Talker. These are all good options to have, but I just find myself never really needing them. They just kind of strike me as win more oftentimes. So then on to the side deck. You got Pankratops, which is just one of my favorite cards in the entire game. So I always like to play it in the main or the side. It's a good utility. You got double Gamasiel. Anytime you can have Kaiju, just get over something miscellaneous you may have problems with otherwise, it's good. You have other cards like Thunder Canvas, for instance, just to be able to get around stuff you wouldn't be able to normally, but it's also nice to just have other utilities. Double Banisher, just great card. You got second Cosmic Cyclone, main 1, side 1. You got Feather Duster, good card. Raigeki, another good card. You got Ice Dragon's Prison. I just play the 1. It's just good to have, if you play this at the right time, it shuts down a lot of combo decks, and it's also good late game or even early game to kind of cut them off from their resources right away for X deck. And then 6 Solemns, close it out. I love the option to be able to play a go first, stun deck, with the Weather Painter engine. So, if you open, Skill Drain, Solemn, Snow, you should probably win the game if you're going first. Because you'll be able to set up your field, do all your stuff, and then flip Skill Drain. And then you're going to be able to keep banishing as costs and adding your stuff anyway, and you'll have Solemns to protect you. You get into that situation, it's really, really hard to lose the game at that point. And you can play that kind of a strategy now because you play the weather forecast, because you have this field spell that you have access to at pretty much any point in the game that sets your whole field up in one turn. Now you can afford to play these kind of strategies where it's more reliant on trap cards with 1 or 2 cards to get the rest of your deck going. So that's about it. I really hope you guys enjoyed the list. If you have any suggestions or anything you change, be sure to leave a comment, and I'll see you soon.